You're listening to Procurement 6, the weekly podcast from the team at Art of Procurement that summarizes this week in procurement in just 6 short segments.
Hi there, my name's Helen McKenzie and today is Friday, July 5th, 2024.
6.
This week I had a discussion on LinkedIn about how a supplier who has an innovative solution to offer can actually respond to an RFP that rules them out. Now obviously it's difficult to do anything once the RFP has been published, so my advice was to get into the process early before that's done. If a supplier is able to engage with procurement early, they might be able to influence the process and enable the requirement to be reframed in a totally different way and allow them to bid. Supplier engagement before procurement goes to market allows creative and innovative solutions to come through. And with creativity and innovation comes value, competitive advantage, and even growth for the business. So my tip for you this week is if you're thinking about going to market with an RFP, do some market engagement first with suppliers. Who knows what you'll discover if you pose the question in a different way.
5.
In this week's episode of Art of Procurement, Philip Idson and Eric Doolin, Director of Procurement, Digital and Technology at Yum Brands, compare the different approaches teams can use when working with clients and suppliers. What's the difference between transactional procurement and strategic procurement? Let's take a listen.
Yeah, if you think about it, we're a service organization. I mean, we can either be a service organization that sits in the office and someone comes to you and says, "Can you sign this contract for me?" Or you can be a service organization that's constantly meeting with your customers, meeting with your stakeholders, understanding what their needs are, building that pipeline, delivering that pipeline. That to me is the difference between transactional procurement and strategic procurement. So when I hire people, I'm not necessarily looking for sourcing leads. I've got a person on my team that never did procurement before in her life when she joined the team. But she was an amazing relationship manager. She knew how to talk to people. She knew how to build relationships, and she's done phenomenal. It was easy to teach her the procurement skills, but it's a heck of a lot harder to take a sourcing lead who's been doing sourcing for 10, 15, 20 years and has no customer relationship skills and teach them those customer relationship skills. So that's fundamentally changed me.
Great insight there from Eric to think about the skills you need rather than just the functional experience, and that can open up possibilities to get the people that procurement needs. To listen to the full episode, go to artofprocurement.com/podcast or search for Art of Procurement and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, or click in the link in today's show notes.
4.
I recently spoke with David Doyle, Managing Director and Co-founder at 4th Street, for the latest instalment of our AOP Introducing series. I was fascinated to learn that 4th Street's platform can effectively turn a category manager into a category expert in a matter of minutes, regardless of language, geography, or even previous experience in that category. Wow! Imagine how much time that would save. To watch the full AOP Introducing video with David, use the link in the show notes to find out more.
This is Procurement 6 from Art of Procurement. To get notified every time an episode is published, go to artofprocurement.com/subscribe. 3.
In this week's episode of the Love Procurement podcast, Kelly Barner spoke with Frank Lheureux, Chief Revenue Officer at iValua, about his philosophy on sales, including what it should deliver for procurement and the internal stakeholders they work with. Now, many procurement professionals cringe and cover their ears at the mere mention of selling. The fatigue associated with being sold to for their business needs and what procurement needs is real. That said, legacy perceptions of selling are no more representative than legacy perceptions of us in procurement. So perhaps us procurement folk have more in common with sales than we think. To access the episode, use the link in today's show notes or search for #LoveProcurement wherever you listen to podcasts.
2.
We've also got an interesting perspective from the Sourcing Hero podcast this week. Matt Palakdary, Chief Strategy Officer at Apti, spoke to Kelly Barner about how the power of AI is, and is not, changing the way we make decisions. In the episode, Matt explains why we should all understand the differences between how humans and computers learn, the need to support human creativity and multifactored decision making with today's analytical capabilities, and ways to ensure that business processes keep up with the investments being made in people and technology. Sounds like great insight that we could all use in these AI-powered times. To listen to the full episode, search for The Sourcing Hero wherever you get your podcast audio, or head to una.com/resources.
1.
Before we wrap this week's Procurement 6, I want to tell you about a new white paper that we've just added to our resource centre. It's called Procurement Orchestration with AI, Key Takeaways for Leaders. Now, generative AI will no doubt revolutionise the procure tech stack, but there's still many changes ahead, and questions remain about exactly how and in what capacity and at what pace generative AI will impact the future of procurement's digital workflows. So we've partnered with the team at Zip to capture key takeaways from their recent AOP Live session and make those insights available for procurement leaders so they can better understand how to manage and prepare for an AI-powered future. Click the link in today's show notes to download your copy of the white paper today.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday at 6 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. If you've enjoyed this pod, help us grow and tell your peers to search for Procurement 6 wherever they get their podcasts.